Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about my little sycamore that I saved from a window box, like a window well from a basement. It was growing in between the boards, and as you can see, it's kind of thick here on the trunk already, and that's just because my own ignorance, I guess I could say. I was trimming the top, as you can see, multiple times, and it ended up just kind of turning into this. So now that I'm kind of into building bonsai and doing things like that, it allows me to kind of think a little differently about this plant. So I ended up shearing it. I was trying to dig it out, but the root, as you can probably tell by now, the tap root was very long. I couldn't dig it out of that little inch wide area. So I ended up just shearing it off with some shears, and it was pretty flat on the bottom, but luckily there were some roots there, and I was able to kind of just put it in a pot. I just put this in a bigger pot now. I'm going from a pot that size into a pot that size. So we're in a new pot, and this new growth is kind of just exploding since I've done that. But to my surprise, it was just really a stick when I got it out. There was a little bit of growth right here, and I had cut that off because it was dying out, because I'd taken that out of its place and kind of took most of its life away from it. But a couple weeks later, maybe a month later, it started doing this. So this is, we're in the beginning of July, and I cut this, I think, probably in the beginning of April. I'll have to go back and double check, and I'll make sure to say if that's different than that. But you can see the new growth here. This is going to probably be, in the fall, going to be the leader for the new growth, and I'm going to go off of this and then probably end up just trimming this whole piece down here. But if you can kind of see, the leaves are already pretty big. It's as big as my finger. So my little sycamore is already growing. I'll probably trim most of this stuff off in the fall as it starts to get dormant. But we're gonna go with this guy here probably in the end, and I'll just cut this off. So once it's time for that, I will document that and go from there. But that's my sycamore that I've saved, and I'm gonna try and bonsai it as much as possible. I heard some sycamores can be difficult, but this looked like a fun project, so I'm gonna go with that. Hey everybody, Greg coming to you with an update. Finally, we're gonna start running some updates on some videos that we ran a month prior. We're now a month in since the last video on the sycamore. You can see how well it's grown. I think it was down to here at this level when we were filming this back in July. So you can kind of just see how, and here's a hand. You can see how big the leaves on this guy are already as it continues to grow off of this one guy on the side of the trunk. So again, what I'm going to be looking at here eventually is probably trimming this whole big thing back once this is strong enough to not have to worry about, killing it. And I have this guy here as well. So we're gonna have some growth coming in here. Looks like I've got two really strong shoots popping out with a third. So getting in here is gonna be a little difficult, but I might just have to do it little by little and just start cutting back the nub there. But we do see continued growth at the end, and we have some buds continuing to swell here and get ready to kind of build. But this is definitely looking like a leader. that we're going to be using as we go on here. And this other guy will be maybe a sacrificial branch that we use eventually. I'm not sure how much thicker we're going to get down here. And again, this is kind of low, but we'll see what we can do here, because this guy here is actually lower than this guy on this side, and this guy's actually a little bit higher up. So we can, like I said, we'll slowly trim what we can here and go from there. Got some leaves slowly dying off on the bottom, which is known to happen. But again, this sycamore has grown, I would say, close to 1 foot, 12 inches. We're imperial here in our measurements. We don't do centimeters, but it has grown quite a bit. Once when I thought I would be calling this the sickly sycamore, it is now thriving out here, and I'm really hoping that it continues to thrive after the winter and eventually move it up into a bigger pot just to kind of let it build. But it's really cool seeing like that. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here. Seeing that pink on the trunk of the tree. But yeah, that'll be the interesting part of getting in there, just to trim that back. I was worried about that when this stuff started going, but somebody I talked to said wait until, you know, the winter to start trimming that back. Wait for that growth to stop going so it doesn't have to heal as hard. But what do you guys think? This sycamore is starting to really go. I'm really excited to see what we're going to trim here off of this. If you like what you see, make sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button so you can keep seeing information about this. I'm going to try and keep an update on this monthly up until we put these guys away. But thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye. Hey guys, this is Greg coming to you with another episode of Greg's Bonsai. Today we'll be going over my sycamore that I ended up cutting out of a window box. If you guys will recall, he was pretty much just this twig right here with nothing else coming out of it. I planted it in here and just wanted to see what could possibly grow out of this, and if I could save it and see how it grows. Now, obviously, here we are. We're in October, and it's still alive, still thriving. And I kind of wanted to showcase this plant tree to you guys, mainly because look how beautiful this thing is. The leaves are changing. We're starting to get in the fall here. I mean, we are in fall. We're in October. And the leaves on this guy are just phenomenal. We still have a little bit of green up here, okay, at the top. But as we go down, it just gets yellow and orange. And these are like the fall colors. This is just primo fall colors. And I think as this guy matures, gets older, we're gonna see wonderful things come out of this. We got a couple green leaves down here at the bottom, but and a couple weeds. Let me see if I can get those weeds out of here while we're recording. And I just thought, you know, let's document this before the leaves drop. I've already had a few come off of here, and again, for scale, this is my hand, and this is how big the leaves are on this guy. It's just amazing, and I'm really documenting that because I want to see if I can get these leaves to get smaller as this gets older and as I start making this into a bonsai. Again, these are like new trees, so you're trying to make them healthy. You're trying to thicken up this trunk and get some kind of taper going up. Once let me grab my chopstick here. Once the winter comes in here and everything on this guy drops down, I will be looking to get rid of this center part that was cut off. You know, like I said before, let's see if this leaf comes off. No, not yet. We're not going to force it off. We did a bunch of cuts here. When I say we, I mean I, as I was lazy before and doing this. And then all of a sudden I started doing bonsai trees, and I said, I'm going to try and save this guy. So those are just the lops from the different parts of different years. So I think this is like maybe 2 or 3 years old down here on this trunk. This is 1 season's worth of growth on this branch, and it is also a season worth on this branch. So I'm really excited to see what this looks like next year, and deciding where I'm going to go with this plant as it matures. But I do want to get rid of this center piece, and maybe I'll do it little by little and just keep going down as the seasons go. But I do want to clean this up so I don't get too much going on here and it's too late and I can't get in here and cut this off. Even this guy, I really like this little guy here, and I love these colors. Oh my goodness, this is like the best. And the 4K, which I'm glad I'm recording in, really showcases those colors. I just wish I had a better background for you guys. It's a little dark outside, and I'm just trying to get this recorded and documented. But I really love the colors that are on here, and you know, they're not even crinkly. They still feel really nice. They're getting to that point where they're going to fall off eventually, but leaving them on as long as I can. And we do have, I'm not sure if I can get in on this. Let's see if I can zoom in. We do have a little bit of budding already starting and getting ready for the next season. And I think you can even see that in, let me see if I can get this in on a current leaf. If you look right here, I do have a little bit of budding for next season already starting up. So that's great to see. But this guy leaps and bounds. It's gone above and beyond what I was expecting for this year, and I'm really happy with how it has built out and thrived, even after all these cuts and then me cutting down above its main taproot line. That's where I'm really happy. So it's doing really well in here. I'm interested to see how the roots are doing with this and how fast the roots are developing. I may end up potting this into, let me see if I can get one out really quick, into a pot that is just a little deeper than this, maybe an inch and a half deeper than this pot. It's a #1 pot, just to give it a little bit more weight because of the size of these leaves and just how big of a fan they are. When the wind blows, this guy does tend to get knocked over a little bit more. So I do want to give it a little bit more weight down here. I could put a rock or something down here, and generally if I water this, it does tend to keep it down a little more. It's just more of a problem when the soil gets dry. So, you know, once a week we have that problem. But I do want to kind of give it a little bit more of an insurance policy, just so that as this guy does grow, and this guy will grow next season, maybe I'll even have to put it up into a #2 pot eventually. I want to make sure that this guy is safe and not having any issues. But for now, like I said, it looks phenomenal. Love seeing this color. Let me know what you guys think of this down below in the comments. I would love to hear from you guys. I know you've been following around with this. This isn't necessarily a popular video series, my Sycamore, but to me, this is kind of really near and dear to my heart because, like I said, I saved this guy from total annihilation for myself. So, and just going from this green to this yellow to the orange, I mean, this is just, I love it. Oh, I love it. And then down to this crinkly dead guy down here. But yeah, let me know what you think of this guy. If you're looking forward to seeing this guy in the spring and how it looks as it grows. I might even end up cutting here and here just to help bring it down a little bit more. But I'm not sure if I want to do that right away or not. But yeah. So this is my sycamore. I like to call it my sickly sycamore because of how it kind of started out. But it's definitely not sick anymore. That is for sure. So yeah, this is Sycamore A, I believe. And if you like what you see, make sure to hit that like button. Again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to see on my channel, put that down in the comments down below. And if you're really raring to see what this looks like in the spring, let me know. Because I want to know if you guys are excited as I am about this guy. And like I said, if you do like what you see, make sure to hit the subscribe button and that little bell next to it. It goes a long way. And when you hit that bell, you'll get a notification that I uploaded a video on my channel. Give you a little last look here as we go through. And this is my sycamore, guys. Another episode of Greg's Bonsai. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Take care. Greg here, coming to you with another episode of Greg's Bonsai. And we're outside. It's the end of April, almost beginning of May. It was almost 80 degrees today. It felt like 80, that's for sure. And just out in the sun. And we're going to have a nice warm week ahead of us. So I thought, let's get outside and shoot some videos and just see how it goes here. So this is my sycamore. The last time we saw this was in about October. The leaves were starting to come off of it and were nice and yellow and orange. And we're just starting to show their fall colors, which was great. Love seeing that. But now we're here in spring. The end of spring, at least, getting closer and closer to summer. It feels like summer out here. So these guys are going to be starting to grow rather quickly now that it's warming up. The sun's on them, and they're just starting to show their leaves, and all the buds are starting to pop out. And this guy actually, within the past week, has started to bring out some of its foliage. So it's been kind of cool to see this. And I thought before the leaves really start to form, we can kind of see some changes that have happened to this sycamore since October. The big difference here, if you look down here, let's see if I can zoom in here, or at least get it a little bit closer. You can see I chopped off that nub that was here from the original cutting when I chopped it out of the window frame that I found this guy in. And we actually have a little third branch kind of coming out here, which is kind of neat to see. So I'm going to kind of keep that going for the year and see where this guy goes. But you can kind of just see we have the main stub here that came up where I cut and saved everything. So about like this level is where I cut off everything, and it didn't grow until this guy just kind of shot up out of nowhere and we had life. So by October we had these guys here, and I was kind of hoping that this would kind of grow out and we'd see some leaves come out of this. I was kind of worried. First year in the shed, and first time actually doing this with trees, seeing if life would come out of the shed. If it was too cold or whatnot, I would water about once a week when this stuff looked dry, when the soil was all dry. But I fertilized this here this past week, and have been watering it. And it's been getting a lot of sun on my back porch. We get the morning light back here, and then it goes into the mid-afternoon until the sun just kind of goes over. So even though I have a covered porch, I have it in an area where the sun will hit it for a good portion of the day. So we can kind of see this. We've got this one leader. I will call this the leader. The bigger of the two branches. We got a lot of nice, leaves coming out of this. They're quite shiny at the moment. And it looks like we will have some branching, I assume anyway, with this extra growth coming out. And we do have some growth going up the top. So this leader is continuing to grow ever higher, which will be nice because we get to see this, you know, thickening of this branch from the trunk. So we get that nice taper, hopefully, coming from this. And then next year we'll probably be trimming this guy back just to bring it down. But I do like the idea of both of these guys growing. This guy's a little shorter. Don't see any real growth coming out of this guy here, but it looks like we're going to be extending out the side here and going up that way. So it's nice to see this guy even within a week, I would say. I think probably within this past week, all these buds have opened up, and we've started seeing these leaves come out. We still even have a few more buds down here that have yet to open, and you can kind of see some growth happening here. And it'll start coming out, and we'll start seeing some more branches. So hopefully in another month we'll get another update on this guy. Just to kind of see. But like I said, I wanted to get a baseline here in the spring of what was growing and just kind of see. It would almost, like, part of me almost wants this to grow 3 and just kind of have its own crown here. Pretty low, but I think what'll end up happening is this guy will definitely go, I would think. And then maybe we'll get rid of this back guy since he's a little smaller, and we'll just go with this as a leader, and then eventually chop off probably down at this level just to give it a more. Hopefully we see some branching out here, and that's where I'm going to start really making some design choices once this grows. Now, from what I understand, these sycamore trees, the leaves don't shrink very easily. So we're going to see what this looks like in a month or two. The leaves could be as big as my hand, you know. I mean, you look at it, it's as big as my fingernail right now. So we'll see how it goes. Not sure if anybody else grows sycamores out there, but I think I have 2. I have to double check. I may have 2 here in my area that I'm growing stuff. I've got some oak that have not really done anything yet this spring. They may just be late bloomers, but this sycamore really starting to show off and show some growth, so that's kind of cool. So that's pretty much it for this guy. There's not much to visually see. There's not much to talk about with this, just that it has survived, so yay for that. That's awesome. And we'll keep an eye on it and see how it grows, see if anything attacks it. I don't really see any bugs, any kind of aphids or anything on it. So I don't really see any attacks. But I'll make sure to keep it watered, make sure to keep it going. We'll probably have another growth here, so we'll have a V kind of coming out. But we'll keep an eye on it, and if I have to do any kind of trimming, like I said, the only real trimming I've done so far is just taking this huge knob off, so you can see this gnarly cut. There we go. That was done to it, and it kind of just bronzed off. It looked nice and green, and then it just kind of bronzed off. So I just kind of wanted to get rid of that before these lower, you know, offshoots started thickening up and contending with that. But let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you liked what you saw, make sure to hit that like button. And like I said, make sure to let me know what you think down below about this video, this tree. If you have your own sycamore, what you do if you're growing a bonsai sycamore, and if you've been having problems getting anything to bonsai on it, let me know down below. If you really liked what you saw, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It will make sure that, and that bell that goes right next to it, and you'll make sure to get information when my next video posts. So this is my sycamore. I like to call it my sickly sycamore, the way it was growing originally. But we'll see you guys next time. This is Greg's Bonsai, signing off. Thanks for watching.